course, I was young then.
Overtown of years ago was a community striving, had lots of businesses, had 50,000 residents.
Overtown was 5th Street to 21st Terrace, and from railroad to railroad.
When I was a kid, this place was, you had wall-to-wall stores.
Oh, it was nice. It was nice.
Cleaners and everything that you need was right here in the community.
Doctors and lawyers.
We had 3 movies here. We had 3 hotels. The Carver Hotel was right there on that corner.
We didn't have to go across the track, go downtown, to pick up anything because we had it right here in this community.
Everything that you needed to live, work, and have fun.
When the name Overtown, originally called Colortown, is mentioned, some people think about the negative aspects. In reality, Overtown has a historical and glorious background. Some consider Colortown today to be from the 1930s to the 1960s. Black-owned businesses were booming during this period. Was there any entertainment going on in Overtown?
Oh my goodness, honey, please. Overtown wasn't nothing but entertainment.
Overtown used to be the maker for black celebrities.
Pearl Bailey, Nat King Cole, Muhammad Ali. A lot of them used to come over town when they had the St. John and the Night Beat, the Island Club.
Those black artists who came to town, after they had performed on the beach, they would come over town to the clubs in Overtown and perform there for free. For free.
It was nothing to see James Brown and Jackie Bush walking up and down 2nd Avenue, the next street over, back in the day. So, there's a lot of history here, a lot of history.
The school's front door was where we are now. The school was built in 1926, but it wasn't opened in 1926, although it was complete, because it was bombed, because it was thought to be too close to Northwest 7th Avenue. And Northwest 7th Avenue was, in fact, a thoroughfare that took whites from downtown Miami into the suburbs where they lived. It was built after the community, the colored town community, was insistent that the school board provide 12 grades and graduation for black children. Before that, it was assumed that black children did not need a formal education. In front of me is the Ward Rooming House, which was built in the 30s by Shetty Ward for his family. This is the Dorsey House, the home of D.A. Dorsey, the first black millionaire. Mount Zion Baptist Church, that church that you see was built in the 40s, completed in the 40s. The congregation started in September of 1896. Greater Bethel, which is behind us, started in March of 1896. And as a result, it's the first church in Miami's colored town to have been incorporated or to have been established before the city. The city was incorporated on July 28, 1896. The house was built in 1926 by Dr. William A. Chapman Sr. This was one of the last structures, residential buildings of its statute. And I thought it was important for school children especially to know that black people in Overtown lived in other homes rather than the shotgun house that you always hear about and you always see. If you look in front of me, there is certainly the state highway that all but encroaches on this property.
The curse was I-95. They needed to take a lot of land to build the highway, and they chose to do it in Overtown. And as a result, We lost like 20,000 people.
After the overpass came in, people started moving out.
The expressway, this is the front of our church. When the expressway came, it cut off the front of the church. People think this is the front, but this is actually the side of the church. And then they got that expressway over there. Then you have what you call urban renewal, which is really urban displacement. And all of the houses and people that lived around here, they began to move them out, and they tore the houses down. So now they're trying to redevelop Overtown. But whatever Overtown becomes in this redevelopment process, it will never be the same again.
Renewal just remove the people out of the neighborhood, and the neighborhood go down.
We don't have that many homes in Overtown now. Overtown now is dominated with apartments.
Depressed, economically depressed because of the lack of housing, there's a lack of economic development, a lack of jobs, devastation of the community by outside forces.
Overtown is one of the most exploited areas in South Florida.
It'll never be the same. Overtown will never be the same.
They have to give Overtown what they promised in 40 years. They got to give it back, because we asking where the money is.
Get ownership of Overtown. Try to establish ownership of Overtown and regain some of that control.
Jackson's Soul Food. This is a family restaurant. I'm Cole, and back there that's Mel, that's my cousin, that's Shirlene in the back.
To me, Overtown is great because I only live Overtown, and I like Overtown. I know a lot of people over here, so, you know, it's all right. Only thing is just they need better, living facilities for the poor people, you understand? Because everybody is not able to afford to buy houses, and the prices that they're asking, the poor people just can't afford it. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's a fact, big fact.
But that's how I see it, you know?
They're building downtown, trying to make downtown all this here and pushing it further and further back.
Do you like this Overtown, or do you like the old Overtown?
I like the old.
Oh, okay.
I don't like it now.
Because of the violence and the...
Yeah, too much drugs. They're too bad. I never known children say how they getting killed. How they little young girl like your age and kidnapping, and it just ain't done. Ain't done right. Don't listen to your mama. Don't listen to your parents. Don't listen to the teacher.
I wish they would have more parental involvement. Parents don't come in. The parents just send the kids. The kids have no home training. It appears to be that way. And, you know, they just need for the parents to become concerned about it, not only here just in the library, but in the school and everything else. I think that's the big issue around here now. There's no parental involvement.
Children now, they go because their friends are going to get in trouble, and they have no supervision, nobody to say who was right or who was wrong.
Children were controlled by their parents. Girls, teenage girls, were not seen on the streets. In the sense of a social life, if a young man wanted to see a young lady, he would go to her home. And most times, in my case, with my sisters, my father sat on the one side of the porch, and my sister and her date sat on the other side of the porch. And that was the way it was. And based on that, pregnancy was really not a very common thing with young girls.
When we get here, we stop march.
but it's a good side of Overtown. Like you see fighting in here, you don't see no fighting. You see people chilling, having a nice time in the sun.
Overtown is a winner because we got all the money. Booker T is going to be a winner because we got a youth center down the street that I helped put there.
I'm just really excited. I think just like everybody else in the community, for this center to really open its doors and for kids to run in here and get an opportunity to do the things that you're doing now. This is the second classroom for tutorial, for homework assistance, art class. So we'll try and offer a variety of options for the students. Hopefully that this can serve as a catalyst for things in the community to get started, for people to actually say, okay, if we build it, then the kids can actually achieve and they can come and they'll enjoy themselves and they can take pride in where they live.
You know, computer programs, study hall, a place that, you know, kids don't got nothing to do, they could come here instead of running around the streets getting in trouble and stuff, they could just come over here, you know, chill.
Just chill. Or relax. They really should have a computer room because that's better for, like, Greater Bethel, the collecting Morris, technology, computer center.
Just like being at home, but that way your parents won't be worried about you being in the streets all night long. They know exactly where you are. They know what time the program open and close, so they know what time you're gonna be home. That way you stay off the streets, you stay out of trouble.
This could be like a jam or whatever, you know, like a little night party. Yeah. One of those, because sometimes we'd be Friday night, Saturday nights, we'll be home bored, so that's what it should be. I want it to be that.
Some things are good and some things are bad. Kids are getting killed by drive-by shooting. A lot of the senior citizens sometimes, like on the first of the month, people got their mind on bad things and they rob the senior citizens and things like that, you know. So you have to be kind of careful. Long years ago, you could walk from 5th Street to 20th Street and didn't have to worry about nothing. Now you can't even go out on your porch. I remember the times when I used to scrub my mama's front porch and I would go out on the porch and sleep all night. You even can't open your door sometimes, there's somebody busting you in the face. So you have to be very careful in Overtown now. It's got to be real bad.
Drive-by shooting and stuff of that nature, non-godly killings, you know, it's just, our youth today just don't have the godliness in them that they should have. Of course, drugs is a major problem. Drugs, you sell drugs in your neighborhood, you're bound to tear it down.
Well, it's just like any neighborhood. You know, it's no different from any other neighborhood. You have low economic areas, you have crime, you have drugs. That's everywhere.
The perception of Overtown is different than what you see on the news. Actually, Overtown has the lowest crime rate in the city. Overtown only has one real problem, and that is drug sales.
Overtown is where you people start from. It ain't gonna be Liberty City. It ain't gonna be Coconut Grove. It ain't gonna be Carroll City. It's gonna be Overtown. Because when you come out of here, you'll be a scholar. You got a scholar, we got Rosa Parks School over there, and they're raising scholars. When you come out of here, you are a leader, and we expect for you to be a leader. There's nobody sending you to school for nothing. Either you take our place or step back.
How can you expect to grow up in this place over time and say this is your home if you don't have the enthusiasm within yourself to try and build it into a place to be? What about the future? can't predict the future like you said.
No, I didn't predict the future
You
either.
are the future.
I tried to predict the future.
You are the future. I agree with that.
You are the future.
Your dad.
But try and build the future, son. Because hey, God gave you a mind to control over everything on His earth. And if you put your mind to it, there's nothing you cannot accomplish. Nothing.
And remember this, to be a leader, you don't have to be white, black, green, or blue, but what you have to do is eat with the people, walk with the people, and teach the people. That makes you a leader, not your color. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Cut.
Could you please tell me what's your favorite thing about Overtown? The lyric there.
The history.
Entertainment. I don't find nothing. Nothing.
What's good about Overtown is the fact that Overtown is Overtown, though. And Overtown will always be Overtown, and they will never be able to take it away from us.
We have a long way to go because, Overtown has been suffering for so long. You understand? So to bring some good into Overtown is going to take, a big job. We're going to need a lot of help.
I want to see more summer programs opening up for these kids because they ain't doing that. All summer they've been running around here doing nothing, catching bugs, which is cool.
What I would like to see is I would like to see that the residents of Overtown are still here in 10 to 20 years, not only owning homes, but running businesses too.
I'd like to see the community cleaned up of some of the negative and some of the blight that I see around it. I'd like to see the lyric and places that are around it thriving again. I'd like to see the community beautiful and the people who live in the community taking a bit more pride in their areas and where they are. I'd like to see Fort just come alive again.
I'm still dreaming that Overtown will come back and be even better than it was in the past.
It will return. I say it though with some mixed emotions because I think the challenge for us is to see that it doesn't change in such a way that its real essence is lost because we're so busy building high rises and we're so busy trying to attract people who really won't have an interest in yesteryear.
Do you think differently about your community now? Have you seen anything that makes you think differently about the community, or what do you think about the community?
I feel if Overtown truly and really wanted to be something spectacular, it could. All it needs is enough people to have the motivation in order to put forth the effort to make it that way. There's not always bad things that go on around here. It's a lot of good things that goes on around here too. But by it having the reputation it has, don't nobody ever want to come out here to see anything. And then we're sitting, like majority of the parents are sitting down just letting everything just go away. It's like nobody's really putting forth the effort anymore.
We're trying to get the residents of Overtown, as well as others, to understand the history and the culture of Overtown, and to help us. We know that we can never make it the same. Society has changed, the world has changed. It would never be the same, but New Overtown gives us an opportunity to involve everybody. The old Overtown was a destination limited by law and custom. The new Overtown is a destination of choice.
My picture, I was born here. They're gonna die here.
It just means a lot, and it's starting to, as you can see, tear away, come down. Slowly but surely it's getting there. So, best thing I can hope is they make like a cover sheet and just keep the cover sheet somewhere where all us can see it, where we all can go and just show our kids, see this who did what, and this where we came from, this how we got there.